Hello everybody, Doug here from the Sound Test Room. Today I'm going to show you a couple of great tricks, great production tricks you can do in Cubasis. You could do these in pretty much any DAW actually these days. The first one, I'm going to show you how to do reverse reverb effect. I'll use a vocal and then I'll show you another couple of techniques then, but you'll be able to get an idea of how brilliantly cool this effect is when used in the right places. And then I'm going to show you another effect there, another trick basically, another production trick. But we'll do this one first. Okay, so first of all I've got this little thing, me just talking. It's a snippet from a song that me and Joe did ages ago, but I'll just play it you anyway so you get the idea. I, ghost, the rusty tap that will not turn, the blister on your finger, the ice cold snow, the broken key in the lock, the feeling of dread running down your spine. I am the gremlin. I am the ghoul. I am the horror. But I'm nobody's fool. Okay, so there you go. So there's that happy little verse there. So first of all, what we're going to do with this is, and if I make a few mistakes, don't worry. You'll still get the idea. But what we're going to do first is we're going to double click this and it'll bring up the waveform, and we're going to see down here we can trim, erase, normalize, fade in, fade out, and we can save it to media. So what we're going to do is we're going to reverse the thing. Okay, so let's have a quick listen to what we've got now. Yeah. So okay, so we've got reverse vocal. Now what we're going to do to the reverse vocal, we're going to go to insert effects. Now of course, you know, you could do this if you were doing it with audio bust, you could do it with any other effects and stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to select reverb. Now this is quite important. Now we don't want a huge massive reverb on this, so the time we want to take down to about 60, 58, 60 will do. We don't want any pre-delay, so we'll take that off. Brightness is fine, and drop the mix a tiny bit. Okay, so we can grab all of that and take it down just a little bit. We don't need to preview it, that'll be fine. So let's see what we've got now. Cool. So that's what we've got now. Doesn't sound like out, does it really? So what we've got to do now, and this is important, okay, we go to media, alright, and we go to mixdown, and we'll just create mixdown the project you're on, obviously. So we create mixdown, we'll save it as a wave, and there it goes. And in here now, you see it'll be reverse effects, and there'll be a little one in brackets, so you can keep track of your remixes and stuff on your mixdowns. So okay, so we create audio, create a new audio track, and double click that, and that'll send our mixed down file in there. So let's just mute that for the start off and just let's hear if it's worked. Okay, so all we've got to do now is double click on our file here, and we want to put it back around the right way. Okay, and this is how ridiculously cool this sounds. Now if you're doing something like, loads of people have used this back in the day, it used to be an absolute nightmare to do it with tape. I swear you couldn't, it was just horrid. Had to take the tape off and forever splicing and all the rest of it. Of course with digital audio now it's fantastic and it's easy, but it still sounds as good as it did way back then, and it's great for spooky stuff, but it's also good for other things as well, which I'll just quickly run through in a sec. So here's the finished with the reverse vocal. Hope you think this sounds okay. I, ghost, the rusty tap that will not turn, the blister on your finger, the ice cold snow, the broken key in the lock, the feeling of dread running down your spine. I am the gremlin. I am the ghoul. I am the horror. But I'm nobody's fool. Yay, I think that sounds cool. Anyway, so we'll just get rid of both of them tracks for the kickoff. We'll have We'll go get rid of those. And what this time we'll do a MIDI track. Okay, so this is a slightly different workings with MIDI, but it still shows you how you can do it. And what we're going to do is select media, go to MIDI, and just we'll go down in and select one of these drum kits here. Okay, I don't need that, so I can erase the actual track. I just want the pads. So okay, so snare. So we'll just quickly record that. And that'll do. Now doing it with this, like that, with that snare. Let's try and make this a bit big so you can see. Oh my God. Doing it with something like this will give you a thing. But now because we've recorded in MIDI, what we're going to have to do first is we're going to have to go to media straight away, go to mixdown, create mixdown, and create that as a wave. Okay, so now we've got to add an audio track. Click on that, and there's we can get rid of that now. There's our wave version of our cymbal, of our snare drum hit. Okay, so double click on it, normalize it because it's quite quiet, and we're going to reverse it too. And then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to apply, actually, just to give you another idea of how this works, what we're going to do instead of applying, because there's a track, what we're going to do is we're going to apply delay to that. So insert effects, tap to add, delay, and we're going to do a quite fast delay, so 16, time we can leave it as normal, and we're going to let it feed back for ages and ages. Again, we don't need to sample it, and the mix can stay the same than this one. So we'll just go back and just see if the delays worked all right. Okay, it's very cool. Now, all we need to do is go to media again, create another mixdown, wave, bang, done. And here we have Reverse Effects 3, which is our third file. So create audio, double click that to get the thing in there. Double click again, reverse it. So now we've done that, we can mute that and we can hear how this sounds. So very cool. So you can imagine you could do that is to build up to things. I mean, you've almost created a velocity ramp there anyway. So if you're really cool with effects and stuff, you can see the type of cool work you can do with this. I'll say quickly now, we need to go to another project. There it is. And I'm going to show you another technique that they used to use a long time ago in studios called doubling. So what that was is a guitarist, for instance, would play a track, and then he would play on a second track exactly the same. And what they would do is hard pan left and hard pan right, and that would give that really spacey effect you hear sometimes on guitars, and they do it with backing vocals as well. But here's a track we're going to play with. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do now is create a new audio track, select that, hit copy, select our track, hit paste. So now we've got two tracks. Go to mixer, hard pan left, hard pan right. Okay, so that's what we've got. So let's hear what that sounds like. Now I'm going to tell you it will sound exactly the same as just an ordinary what you've just heard. And that's because it's a digital copy. Even though you've panned it hard left and hard right, you could do that all the live long day and it's going to sound exactly the same. So what you've got to do is just, let's make this bigger so we can see what we're doing. So there's the two tracks, okay, and it sounds the same because although you've panned it hard left and hard right, they're playing exactly the same time. It doesn't matter. It used to work in studios years ago because it's impossible to play the same thing twice, exactly the same, almost impossible. So first of all, what we need to do is go to this little thing here. So you've got quantize 116 and you've got a little grid thing with 1/8 in it. It might have something else in it. You hit that and you go down to the bottom where it says off. There's like a little magnet and you hit off. What you've done now is this is free to move any way you like. So all I've done now is, all I'm going to do now is the mixer set the same, hard left and hard right. If we play it again, it just sounds the same, right? It's in the center of your head. What we need to do now is just slightly, and it varies depending on what you want to do and how sensitive you can be. So all I've done is move that slightly off, okay, and now you should hear the guitar split over, so it'll give that sort of spacey spread effect. Okay, so that's that effect, and we can move it a little bit more. Okay, and what we can do now is I can show you some other cool stuff you could do. So we're going to copy and we're going to paste, and we're going to push this one slightly further. You're almost creating an echo, right? So there's two tricks, guys, that you can use in your things. Now, bearing in mind you don't have to. This doubling effect works brilliant with vocals. Works great with keys, and it works really well. But you have to mess around a little bit. But it's easy to do and it's simple, and the effect is really nice. And you could do the reverse. You could do the reverse reverb and then double that a bit, you know. So it's pretty cool. All right, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful. See you later.